For this session, the presenter today is Power BI and data analytic consultant who's having more than 10 years of experience in BI and data analytics industry. And also he has contributed to lots of projects in Power BI for small and medium organizations. And he's a Microsoft certified data analyst associate, and also he's a Microsoft certified trainer. Other than those Microsoft certification, he also holds CSM, Six Sigma Green Belt, Google Analytics, and IBM Applied Data Analytics certifications. And he's a speaker at CheckPass, India Power BI Meetup groups, Portland Power BI user group, and also some university events. And interestingly, he's running a BI Consulting Pro YouTube channel. You also can follow it. And also a blog to spread knowledge among people who are interested in learning data analytics and Power BI. So without further ado, let me invite AJAY SHARMA on our virtual stage to conduct the featured session on Power BI licenses. AJAY, it's great to have you today, and the session is yours.
Okay, thank you so much guys for having me here, and I'm really glad to be a part of this community. And now I would like to share my screen with you guys. Just let me know once it's visible to you. Is it visible, guys?
Yes,
Yep, you can see it.
Okay, great. So guys, once again, thank you so much to Gogula, Shivani, and the other members of this user group. I'm really glad to be here. Most of the time people ask me a lot of questions regarding licenses, and as well as this comes into the mind, like which license is good for which organization, or how to choose the licenses. So that totally depends on the features, capabilities, and the size of the organization, what we are looking for. So this session is all about the Power BI licenses, a complete walkthrough. I'll take you from all the products of the Power BI licenses. And in these sessions, we will discuss about the newly introduced premium per user license as well. And if you have any question and answers, either you can raise your hand in this Teams, or you can just let me know at the end of the QA session. So let's get started. So today's agenda, as you can see, first we'll go through the Power BI products. What are the different products? Then we'll discuss about there are the different kinds of licenses. Majorly, there are the 5 different kinds of licenses in Power BI. But there's another license as well, which is basically a service, Power BI on-premise service, rather than licensing, I'll say. And then at the end of this session, I'll also tell you how to purchase a license. So suppose you are new or you don't know, then I can help you out over this session, like where to go, how to purchase this license. Now, the very first, we are going to discuss about the Power BI products. What are the different kinds of Power BI products we have? The very first is the free application provided by Microsoft. It's completely free. Anyone can download either from the Microsoft App Store, or which is available in Windows. Also, you call it Windows Store, or you can directly go on the website. You can download from there. Thirdly, if you are already logged in over the Microsoft Power BI services or powerbi.com, there also you will get an option to download this one. From there, you can download every month. Power BI or the Microsoft team is publishing a lot of different features, unique features, which are some of the enhancements, some of in preview based on the ideas given by the Power BI community. There's a very strong Power BI community available. So if you are new to Power BI, I would request you to join that community and have all those different kinds of ideas. Or if you are already working on that, definitely most of people, you are already working on Power BI. So you can also post your ideas over there, and that would be counted. Definitely, different people can vote for your ideas, and once it's going to reach a certain amount of votes, then Power BI implement that feature. The second one is the Power BI services. So once we develop any reports or Power BI desktop application, then we need to share it with our colleagues, or if someone is using just for the personal purpose as well, then also you can use it. I'll tell you which license you are going to need for that for personal purposes. But if you are about to share with your colleagues or management or executives, then you need to publish that on the Power BI services. From there, you can share with your different colleagues or within your organizations, or maybe outside the organization. There are the different ways to share it. So that's how you will have to share this one. And over there, you can even create an app, or you can directly share the dashboard and app dashboard or reports. Now, the third one is the Power BI mobile app. So Power BI is a very versatile product. You can use any data anywhere at any point of time. That means to say you can use your Power BI reports either on your mobile phone, your tablets, your web browser, your laptop, the way you want to do. So it gives you a lot of flexibility. For example, one of the executive is just traveling and he's not having a time to open the laptop or something, but they have to monitor the different KPIs regarding their organization. So they can definitely go on their mobile, and using mobile app, they can consume the reports, or they can render the different kinds of dashboards over there. Apart from that, mobile app is available for iOS and Android devices as well as for Windows devices as well. So definitely anyone can download it and can start working on it. The fourth one is the Power BI report server. So as I mentioned before this one, that Power BI has on-premise solutions as well. Nowadays as well, like there are some organizations, for example, some of the banks, they really don't feel much comfortable by going onto the cloud, maybe because of their security concerns regarding the data. So they believe like they are not secure on the cloud yet. So what they can do, Power BI offer another kind of service for that is the Power BI report server. It's more or like if you have worked earlier on SQL Server reporting services. So it's that kind of server where you can publish or host your reports on the on-premise solutions. Now the Power BI services, mainly it comes with the Power BI Pro, Power BI Premium, but not only that, if we talked about the next one, then we will get to know that we have the Power BI per user license, which is a newly introduced license. And in the premium itself, it comes the Power BI Embedded and SQL Server Enterprise Edition, where we get our Power BI Report Server. So you can get Power BI Report Server in two ways. Either you have the premium license, or you have SQL Server Enterprise Edition with the software assurance. So that's how we can get this Power BI Report Server, and we can start implementing our on-premise Power BI solutions. So Power BI Free is not being mentioned because it's a part of Power BI. Like whenever somebody is signing up with their work or their organization email addresses or school email addresses, so they can their free account. If they want to use certain other functionalities, they can go for Pro or Premium. But if they don't want to go for that, they can still get a 60 days of trial period. So I'm gonna explain them a bit later. So let's talk about the Power BI free licenses. What is it and what are the features that you are going to get into this one? So, well, anyone can sign up with your school or work email addresses for this one, and you will get to know, you will get your Power BI desktop application, which is entirely free. No need to even sign up for that. Without even signing in, you can use that application. But if you want to feel how it goes, like whenever you are publishing your report, so you will get up to 1 GB of per user space on the Power BI services, and there are the workspaces where you can publish your content, but you cannot share your content with anyone else. However, there is another option, publish to web. So you can publish your report to web. There's an option over there, but that is not a secure content, or I won't recommend you guys to go with that unless until that is kind of the data that you can publish over web for anyone to use it. For example, nowadays we are publishing like COVID-19 data or something. So those kind of things you can publish, and that would give you kind of a nice experience how and when you can publish those kinds of reports over there. Otherwise, for your personal use, you can just publish in the My Workspaces, and you can interact with the reports. All those kinds of interactions you can feel over there. Before going there is one more thing I would like to tell you. How would you get to know which license do you have? For example, this is my newly created space where I'm not using anything. So if you need to know, or if you are new and you want to know like what kind of license do you have, so what you can do, you can come on your Power BI services. You just need to log in on powerbi.com, sign in over there. Once you will sign in, you will get your profile, and here we can see that this is my free account. So furthermore, if you want to view your account, you can go over there and just click view your account, and under subscriptions, you can find what kind of licenses you have. Otherwise, you can just close it. Also, if you want to check like how much storage you have, those also you can check over here. Right now, you can see it's 0 to 10 GB of the total, but it's a free license. I haven't upgraded it to Pro. Once you sign in very first time with your school or work email addresses, you will get an option to upgrade to Pro, where you can get a 60 days of trial period, which you can use. And in that, you will get all the features that a Power BI Pro license has. After 60 days of trial period, it's up to you whether you want to go further to buy that license or you just want to be a free user. Okay, now let's get back to our licenses part. Now we will discuss about the Power BI Pro license. So as I mentioned, anyone can purchase with your Office 365 admin account this license, but in organizations, we have our global admin for Office 365. Generally, they assign this license to other Office colleagues on the basis of the requirements. Otherwise, if you are using for your personal use, you should have a Microsoft Office 365 account, and with the help of that account, you can sign up for this one. Or there's another one more way that you can buy this license. You have to just go on the very first time on the powerbi.com. There you will sign up, and during the sign up process, you will get an option to buy this license directly from there. You need to set up some account over there, and then you will get it. For this account to have, you should have your school or work email address. Why I'm insisting over this one? Because you cannot sign up with your personal email addresses like Gmail, Yahoo, etc. So with the help of only your school, work, university email addresses that you can sign up for this Power BI Pro license. Now there are the features which you are getting in the Pro license. So Pro license is basically the developer license. So why I'm saying it developer, because developers or the BI content creators, they generally create the report using Power BI desktop application, and that desktop application you use to publish the report into Power BI services, where you have to share with your other colleagues, or you have to create the apps or some of the contents over there. And with the help of these license, you can do all those kind of features. Power BI Pro is actually per user license, and in this one, you definitely get all the features of the free, but you get the enhanced feature. For example, here you will get the refresh rate. If you need to refresh your data, then you can refresh your data up to 8 times a day. You cannot go more than that. You get all the sharing options over here, like sharing with the colleagues. You can share using the Power Apps that we create from the multiple reports. We can create an app in Power BI, but you won't get to share with the embedded. Power BI embedded is a feature of premium. I'll explain that also at a later stage. Over here, you will get your capacity of the contents is up to 10 GB, which is the limit. And 10 GB, don't think it's too low, because once your data is being published in the Power BI services or Power BI reports, it's get compressed up to 10 times. That means, for example, if I'll take 100 GB of data outside Power BI, that can compress up to like 10 GB of the data inside Power BI. You can also use your row level security in this one for the users and the groups. So that gives you a more secure way to share your data. For like if I'll talk about, I have different departments. I have the operation department as well as the financial department, and I want to share my reports in a way that only finance guy can see the finance data, the numbers, the organizational finance data, but operations guys should not do that. We can do that. We can achieve that using dynamic row level security or the static row level security. So there are the different ways we can implement the RLS. So those are the main kinds of main features in Power BI Pro. Now let's discuss about the differences between the Power BI Free and Power BI Pro licenses. So first of all, connecting with the data sources. This is 70 plus data sources, but trust me, there are more than 250 data sources right now available that we can connect with the Power BI Pro or Power BI Free. I'm sorry. So also day by day, Microsoft is increasing the number of data sources that we can connect. And every time we are getting some more connectors or the add-ins so that we can connect with the data sources. Publish to web option is available for both Power BI Pro as well as Power BI Premium. But peer-to-peer sharing is not available for free license users because it's a free. You can just publish the content into your My Workspaces. You cannot create any other workspaces, and you cannot share content with your other peers or the colleagues. So since you cannot share, you cannot do the enterprise distribution as well, like subscriptions or APIs or controls. So you are not allowed to do that. And also you are not allowed to do in free license, the group workspaces or analyzing Excel options, other kinds of things. Though you can do everything using Power BI Pro license. Now let's talk about more about the Power BI embedded, why we need it and what it's the part of. Basically what happens whenever we are making any website, or different organizations have their different informative websites, and nowadays you have seen there are so many e-commerce websites. You can go on their websites, you can visit them, and you will see the different kinds of dashboards are appearing there. You can interact with those kinds of dashboards. So basically, what do they have? They have the Power BI reports in their websites. That means they are embedding their Power BI reports into their websites, where users can go, they can interact with those different visuals, and they can see how the trends is going and all. So Power BI Embedded provides an opportunity to embedded our content inside the reports. And for that, we need the Power BI Embedded license. It's a part of Power BI Premium. With the help of Premium, we can add as many as users we want to that group, or we can generate basically the URL, or you will say embedded link, and then developers can use that particular link to embed it into the website. That's how they can use it. But before that, we need two things. One, we need the iframes or the link for the Power BI reports. And also we are going to need the authentication. So once they embedded the report, you will see to sign in option over there on their website. And once user can sign in, they can authenticate themselves, only they can consume the content. Otherwise, they cannot. Now let's talk about the Power BI Premium. So Premium, as this name implies, it's a premium thing. So it comes at a cost. But why do we need actually Power BI Premium? We have the Power BI Pro, which is a developer license, because developer create the content, they share, they do a lot of things. So premium comes when, which is a capacity-based license. It's not a user-based license. In Pro, which is a per user license, or user to user, we have to assign it. But premium is a capacity-based. When we need a lot of model size, or data size is a lot, or we need some kind of advanced analytics functionality, AI capabilities, all those things, or I'll say XLM endpoint connectivity. So in that case, we need the Power BI Premium, but it comes with a lots of other features too. For example, it comes with a multi-geo spot. Multi-geo spot is like company can decide where they want to put their data, in which data center. The Power BI is available for the different countries. They have the data center at different regions, so the users of Power BI Premium, they can put their data into the different data centers, into the multi-location. And if you will see, there are some other very nice features. Recently, I believe in October or before October, Microsoft introduced a feature of deployment pipelines, which are going to help or give you a smooth experience to how we can deploy our reports from the different environments. For example, generally we have the QA environment, development environment, and the production. So how we can smoothly deploy our reports into these different environments, how we can check what are the differences between the reports. If it's okay, then we can go further. Also, you will get refresh rates up to 48 times rather than the 8 times over there in Power BI Pro. And you get the advanced data flow features. There are so many AI-based features, which are the cognitive services. For example, sentimental analysis, or you want to do the image tagging, text analysis, all those kinds of features you can only get in Power BI Premium. This is a license for those organizations. Generally, I'll say the quite big organizations. For example, I'll say just Accenture or JP Morgan, or any big organization, which those organizations, they have a very advanced demand for the data analytics. Those organizations use these kinds of licenses, and it's based on capacity. It's not based on users. The admin can add any number of users free users in the Power BI Premium workspaces, and they can consume the report without requiring any further licenses. However, please note down this point that in order to publish the content, they need one pro license. Minimum one pro license is going to be required. There would be one developer who develops the report, but in order to publish or share with the other users, you need a Power BI Pro license account for this one. Now let's see collaborating in the different workspaces between the Power BI Pro and Premium, how it's gonna have. So as I mentioned, the Power BI Premium is a capacity-based license which has a dedicated capacity, while the Pro license is based on shared capacity. That means it has the shared resources. For example, we have a very big pool of water that is being shared with a lots of other people. So that is, we'll say, the Power BI Pro. But if you have your own dedicated pool, for example, let's say everyone has their own, swimming pool in their houses, it's just dedicated for themselves. They can use it for their own purposes. So that is the dedicated capacity. So premium is for organization specific. They get a specific dedicated capacity. They get their specific resources like the CPUs and vCores, etc. And then they can use for themselves. That's their own. And this is gonna, give improve performance as well. When we are using the shared resources, definitely the performance is going to distribute it among all the users which are using that particular resource. But once you have your own dedicated servers or vCores, etc., then definitely performance improves and you can easily do a lot of other things. However, Pro user, Power BI Pro user is required for Premium as well, as I just explained to you in the previous slide. But Pro user can take the advantage of both Premium as well as the shared capacity. What happens? Pro user is required to share the contents with other users, and also if even you have a Premium capacity licenses, other Pro users can consume from those workspaces. Free users also can consume from the Premium dedicated capacity workspaces. However, if you have a Pro license, then you created some workspaces, then other free users cannot consume the content from them. In order to consume the content from the shared capacity, only other Pro user can do that, not the free user. However, in case of Premium licenses, we can add as many as users we want to add into the Premium capacity workspaces, and they can consume the content, but they cannot create or they cannot do anything else into those ones. Now, let's go further and talk about the Power BI Premium Gen 2. Recently, Power BI team has introduced Gen 2 or Generation 2 premium licenses. With that, Power BI Premium per user also came, and there are certain new abilities that has come with this new Generation 2 licenses. Basically, they have enhanced the performance and a lot of other things, which I'm going to explain you over here. And one more thing to note down, that this Power BI Premium Gen 2 is still in preview. It's not generally available yet. So maybe it's going to soon come, maybe in the starting of the new year. So what do you get in Power BI Premium Gen 2? Well, first of all, you get the ability to license Premium per user in addition to by capacity, which was not available earlier. I'm also going to discuss about this license a bit after this slide. Secondly, you get your performance is being improved. There are lots of things that Microsoft team has done behind the screen to enhance the performance or any capacity size. Basically, analytics options run in this kind of Premium Gen 2 capacity up to 16 times faster as compared to the previous one. And also you will get a greater scale. That means no limit on refresh concurrency. So no longer requiring you to track schedules for data sets being refreshed on your capacity. You will have the fewer memory restrictions and complete separation between the report interaction and the schedule refreshes. So those kinds of feature you are going to get into this one. Then we get the improved matrices. Improved metrics means with the clear and normalized capacity utilization data, that's the dependent only on the complexity of the analytics operation the capacity performs and not on its size. So you also get the auto scale. By doing the auto scale allows you for automatically adding one vCore at a time for 24 hours of period, which in the previous one we have not this kind of functionalities available. And when the load on the capacity exceeds its limits, preventing slowdown caused by the overloads. So it's not gonna slow down, it would automatically gonna adjust or adding the new vCore at the back end, so that your performance is always gonna be same. It's not gonna reduce. Also, you will have the reduced management overhead with the proactive and configurable admin notifications about capacity utilization level and the load increasing. So these are some of the features that you are gonna get it. You can go for this preview feature in the, if you are already using the premium capacity for the Power BI, you can just sign up for this one as well in the same way that you did for the uh, premium one. So over here you can see that, but you need to go, you have to go on directly in the admin portal, navigate to your capacity settings over there. Once you navigate to your capacity settings, then you have to select the Power BI Premium. And in the selection that appears over there, you will just select, you can see on my screen, this small GIF is playing over there, which would help you to give just an idea how you can go on Premium Gen 2, or how you can avail these kinds of features right now. Now let's discuss the limitations of Premium Gen 2. The very first comes into our mind is the utilization tracking. So capacity utilization cannot be tracked in the metrics app for this Gen 2. It's weird, but it's a limitation over here. Secondly, the workload capacity settings. Capacity settings for those specific workloads aren't available yet in Gen 2 capacity settings page in the admin portal. Thirdly is the analysis service feature. Analysis service features are only spotted on the latest client libraries, but not in this one. And also you would, it's a point to note that if you are using XMLA on Premium Gen 2, make sure you are using the most recent one, because it doesn't work on the classic ones, classic workspaces over there. So always try to use the most recent versions of data modeling and management tools. So XMLA point, so there's a point is coming again and again, the XMLA endpoint. So probably you are not aware about it, but Power BI Premium uses the XML for analysis protocols for communication between the client applications and the engine that manages your Power BI workspaces and data sets. So generally what happens, we have to use the different APIs and all, and then we want to interact with the data sets or the Power BI services. So that point, this is a very unique feature which would help you to update the data set, read the data from there, or if you want to make any changes. So this is not gonna work unless until you are not on the latest workspaces, or the if you are on the classic workspaces. So please note this point, you should upgrade your classic workspace in Power BI, and then only you can take the advantage of these XMLA endpoints. So guys, you can ask me if you have any questions so far before I go further. Otherwise, it's gonna be a lot to digest in a single way. Any questions, guys, so far?
Someone has raised his hand. Yes, yeah. Rasita, go.
Rasit.
Yeah.
Hi Ajay, my question is when we move to premium per user subscription, will we be able to share our reports for the users which doesn't have license for Power BI? I mean, even they don't have free license, will they be able to see our reports when we share via PPU capacity?
Okay, thank you for your question. So the answer is no. If you want to share your data with the other, if you have premium per user license and you want to share your data or the contents with other guys, then they should have the premium per user license only. If they have pro or premium, they cannot consume that data. They would like, it would show that report is available, but when they would click over there, they would see, okay, you don't have this PPU license or the permissions to view this data. However, there is another way to do that. The user or the admin of the premium per user license, what they can do, they can involve them in the subscription. The subscription would be same for the premium per user as well as the pro license users. So in that subscription, only the pro users can get this kind of subscription, but they cannot directly go on the Power BI services and consume the data.
Okay, thank you. It's clear.
Okay. Anyone else has any more questions? Okay, guys, I'll take your questions at last. So let me proceed further. I think we are running out of time. So guys, premium subscriptions and licensing for the premium licenses, basically it's based on the stock keeping unit. So we have two kinds of, one is PSQs, another one we come with the EMSQs. So generally premium per user licenses, we go for the PSQs, not the EM, because EM are for the embedded licenses requirement, and PSQs are for embedded and enterprise features requiring a monthly or yearly commitment. So without that, you cannot get this kind of. I'm also going to explain the cost of this one. So we'll explain it a bit later, but rightly you can just understand as an overview, you have two types of premium licenses which you can avail based on your stock keeping units. One is an embedded one, another is for premium features and the embedded and enterprise features. So capacity nodes. So you can see that we have the different capacity nodes over here, which are divided into back-end cores and the front-end cores. On my slides, it's clearly visible. So as I explained in the previous slides, we have two kinds of capacity nodes. One is based on the EM SKUs, stock keeping units. Another is P1. So P1 starts with a minimum of eight cores, and then it goes like 8, 16, then twice, and like that. And that's been divided into backend and front-end cores. So backend cores are like which do the mainly your computing requirements over there. So once you are on those backend cores, so like you can consider the engine that is running behind the service is your backend cores, and front-end cores are what you do on the service side, like on the website side, which you are interacting with the reports and others. So those are comes your front-end cores. So in this one, if I'll just explain a bit more, so your backend V cores basically are responsible for your core Power BI functionality, including when you are processing your queries or your cache management or running R services, model refresh, etc. While your front-end V cores, they are mainly responsible for your web services or dashboards or reports that you are rendering, or the document management, access right management kind of. Over there in premium, storage is set to 100 TB per capacity node. So please always remember that. And also by special request, we can even enlarge greater than 100 TB or 100 GB, I'm sorry, for these one. And you can see that we can also over here see like what is the time period for the direct query live connections. So based on the premium feature that you are gonna get, and their price also increases from P1 to P5 or EM1, A1 to EM3, A3. So generally most of organizations come into like maximum P2 or P3. They don't go beyond that, but there are certainly organizations whose requirements are a lot and they want, you know, very high enhanced performance, then they can go for these features as well. Now let's discuss a bit more about the premium per user license. So on November 11th, I believe, 2020, Power BI introduces this premium per user license. It's a part of Premium Gen 2, which is in preview right now. They haven't been announced any cost yet for this license, but they have allowed the users who are already on the premium capacity, they can go and they can start using, or as a user trial basis, this license. They can see the capabilities and all, but there are certainly the differences. So as I told you, like which organization can use which kind of licenses. So what happens, like if you have a small organization, so they can use the Power BI Pro licenses, because I'm gonna discuss the cost as well, not now, but I have to tell you right now it's like around 9.99 USD per user, and the premium comes around 4,445 USD per premium capacity over there. So premium is gonna be a lot high in terms of the cost, and not on the like small organization sites they can avail those kinds of um, premium capacity, and also they don't have such requirements to do the AI capabilities and those kinds of 48 times per day, etc. The advanced features, advanced analytics features, or XMLA connectivity, like those kinds of things. They don't have those kinds of requirements. So they are quite happy with their premium, like pro user licenses, and they have 500 users, up to 500 users. They can just go with this one pro user. However, there was also another segment of the Power BI users, uh, or the organizations which comes under the medium. So till November 2020, there was no other licenses available. There were some organizations who were demanding, okay, they also want to use some advanced analytics features, but they are not ready to pay that much price for the premium features. So what Power BI Microsoft team does, they came with a new license, which is known as Power BI Premium per user. Here, you get a lot of features you get all the features basically for the pro license, but a lot of other features as well for the premium capacity license, but not all the features. As you can see on my screen, you get you get the up to 10 GB or the 100 TB size of the storage is same, like for the premium and premium capacity or Power BI Premium per user license. You also get the same refresh rate. You get the paginated reports as well. You get AI capabilities and other XMLA points, etc. But there are certain features that are missing. Definitely that makes sense, because you are not going to pay that much price for this license. So they're like multi-geo support, unlimited distributions, or Power BI reports on premise, or bring your own key. Those kinds of features are missing in this one. So this is a kind of comparison between the premium per user and premium per capacity licenses. And if you have any more questions, you can ask me anytime regarding this one. So guys, this is the overall picture which I just put with the help of one of my friend at formo.com. He has created this beautiful graphical view where you can see all the different features available in Power BI Free, Pro, and Premium, but Premium per user is not included over here, definitely. So I'll say overall, if you are a small organization, you have up to 500 users. So definitely I'll recommend you go with the Power BI Pro. If you have a medium organization, then you have an option now if to go with the premium per user as well. And if your organization is a very big organization where you have about, just say about 300 or 400, like the developer, I'll say that you have a team of developers up to 50 or something, and then you have to distribute reports or those things, the consumers of those reports or executives, you have up to like in thousands. So you should go for the premium one. So also there are other products as well, like the gateway and how to share the report, how to do that. Those kinds of features are also there, but we can talk about those later. But this session is basically more about the different licenses that I have to explain. So now let's go further and see the price calculator. This is a very interesting one. So whenever you need to see the comparison, so Microsoft has introduced one calculator as well, so that you can try to know like which licenses are good, or how many pro or how many premium licenses you need for your organization. So you can go on this website over here, or you can just type in Google Power BI license calculator, cost calculator, and here you can, according to your requirement, you can mention like what is the size of your organization, how many users you have, frequent user, occasional users. You can also select the currencies over here, and based on that you will get an estimate, cost estimate. What is your cost estimate? So what I'll do, like suppose you belongs to a small organization. It's not feasible every organization to have big, or everyone is working in big Fortune 500 organizations or so. So what we have an option, first just try with the Power BI Pro, sign up with your official email addresses over there, get a 60 days of license. If you are, suppose, currently on some other data analytics tools, so you want to try Power BI, so just go with that Pro trial version. try for 60 days. You can also add the other Power BI users or developers, and then you start using that. Try for 2 months. Once you are good with that, then you can start working on Pro. And up to 500 users, I'll definitely recommend just go for the Pro. That's my recommendation, purely on my knowledge, my experience basis. But if you have more than 500, then definitely makes sense, because if we calculate the cost, and if I'll just show you the cost of this one, let me see, where is my slide for the cost? Yes. So this is my slide for the cost. You will see here Power BI Pro is around 10 USD per user, and premium is 4,995. So if we have our estimate like 500 users, out of 500 users, then we can go for the Pro. 500 multiplied by 10, it's coming around 5,000. And when you go for premium, it's this much. But for premium, we can share with the free users, but for content developer, if you have suppose 10 developers who are developing the reports in your BI team, then you need at least 10 pro licenses. So that's gonna extend the cost over there. So till 500 users, I'll recommend go with the pro. Otherwise, if you have more consumers than the creators, so you can just calculate the cost based on this one, and then you can select your licenses accordingly. Now, before ending of this one, so there's one more thing, that is the SQL Server Enterprise Edition plus the software assurance, which I didn't include exactly in the licenses because it's a part of Power BI Report Server is a part of premium. Otherwise, if many of the organizations who are already using the Enterprise Edition of SQL Server, so they can spend a little bit more money over there, and then they can have this software assurance. In the software assurance, what they get this Power BI Report Server, and with the help of that, the organizations can implement their own house or on-premise Power BI solutions. They will get their dedicated server. Data is not going anywhere outside your organizations, and you can use all the features. But there are certain differences between the Power BI Report Server and the Power BI Report Services. So more or like overall, I'll say you get more features in Power BI Report Services and less features on Power BI Report Server. Also, you have another dedicated Power BI Desktop application, which is Power BI Desktop optimized for Power BI Report Server. You have to use another application to create and publish the report in your Power BI Report Server. So guys, that was all. If you want to connect with me, you can connect with me through this email address. You can go on our website. You can connect with me with my YouTube channel, where we publish every week. We publish 2 videos or 3 videos, and we are just trying to help everyone. We have some knowledge, so I believe in spreading the knowledge, and that's what my motto is, to get empowered everyone with the latest Power BI platform, Power Platform technologies and knowledge. If you are getting skilled, then there's nothing more beautiful than this can be. That was my session for today. If you have any questions, this is Q&A session, so please do ask me.
Do you all have any questions? Maybe you can post it in the conversation box or raise your hand.
Even guys, you have any questions in future, you can connect us through this Meetup group or my personal blogs. Anywhere you can connect with us, and we'll try to help you out as much as we can.
Gogula, can we move on to the next session? Seems like.
Sure, let's move on.
There are no questions. Okay, Ajay, thank you very much for your detailed presentation, and that was very insightful. And thank you very much for that. And thank you for spend your time with us today to share your knowledge. And good luck with your YouTube channel and all the learning platforms, since you are helping out people to improve their knowledge. Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot for providing me this opportunity and the platform to share my knowledge.
Great to have you here. Thank you very much, Ajay.
Anytime.
Okay. Okay, then let's move on to the next session for our meetup today. And this is the favorite new feature segment, which will be done by a lady. She is a team lead at ISM APAC, and she has over 6 years of experience in working in data engineering field. And she's an enthusiast in creating, building, and developing data-driven solutions using various tools and technologies. So without further ado, let me invite SINDHUJA ATHITHAN to conduct this favorite new feature. So she's going to talk about new functionality in Power Query and Dataflows, which is introduced in November 2020 release. SINDHUJA, over to you. And,
Thank you, Shavani.
Okay.
So thank you, Gogul and Shavani, for organizing this meetup, and also Ajay for presenting on the Power BI licenses. So I'll just walk you through the features and functionality that they have offered in their November 2020 release. So I'll share my screen. Can you all see my screen?
Yes, we can see.
Okay, thanks. So I'm just going to talk about some interesting features which I found on the new release, which was the November 2020 release. So that is the latest release, and there's a lot of new functionality that they have offered, but I will be picking out some functionality which I found really interesting, and I will be presenting on those. So these are the 4 functionalities which I will be presenting on. The first one is using the schema view in Dataflows Power Query, and then the diagram view. And they have provided some new enhancements on fuzzy matching. So I will be presenting on those as well. So starting off to present these features, I've just picked up a use case. So I have this database which consists of hotels in Sri Lanka. It has details about the hotels, the facilities that they have, and currently they're being used as a quarantine center. And also it has like details about any additional facilities that would help, like if they do have like a private beach, private pool, and so on, so that we could target these hotels to provide like a better experience to the tourists when they arrive in Sri Lanka once the airports are open, to provide them with like even if they do have like a quarantine period at that time, to provide them with a better experience. So this is the data set that we will be working on for this demo. So I'm going to first talk about the schema view. This was introduced in the November release, and I found this to be an interesting feature because it actually saves us a lot of time. In Power BI, let me just show you that. So I'm just going to go ahead and create a data flow. So I have a workspace open up here. So I'm just going to create a data flow here. Going to say add new entities. So my data set is actually in a SQL Server Azure database. So I'm just going to make the connection for that. It's called hotel info. So I have like a bunch of tables here, but for this demo, I'm just going to use this table, which is called hotel details. It has like a hotel ID, hotel name, the name of the address of the hotel, the number of rooms, the type of the hotel, the district, the AJAY division which it falls under, and also have some like details on if it's already a quarantine center, if it has a private beach, pool, etc. So I'm going to click on transform data. So it will just load the data in. So as you can see, it has just loaded it. And over here, when we go to the view tab, we have something called the data view, which is current view, where you can see all the data in the data set. And we have something called the schema view. So this is where it just lists out the column names and the data types. So this is helpful because previously we have to like wait till we get the preview loaded, and we have to like, just go through each of the columns because it comes in the grid view, and then you have to do like renaming or reordering and so on. But here it's much more easier now, especially when working with like many number of columns. This table just has a few columns, but if it's working like with say 50 odd columns, it becomes a bit hard to just scroll through all the columns and to do what you want. But here it's much more easier now. You can just click on like what you want to do here and just do that. So if I would just want to rename this type column, I can just click on this ellipsis and say rename. I'm going to just name this hotel type. So, and you can change like the data types, and if you want to reorder these columns, you can do that. For example, if I want the hotel ID to appear second, I can say move and then select after. So all that you can just do with, just a click of a button basically, and it's very much easier compared to the doing things in the data view itself. And here on the query settings, you would see all the side steps to the data set which you have done. So let's move on to the next functionality. So the next one is the diagram view. This one is also something interesting which I found. It's again available in the view tab. This basically is a good addition to the online data flow editor Power Query, and it gives you like a proper way to view all the structure of your database as well as to know what transformations are done there. So in one view, you can just check all the transformations done to all the data sets that you have imported. So let me show you how we can use that as well. Over here in the view tab, you can go to the diagram view. And here you would see that this is the table which I just loaded called hotel details. And you would see the applied steps which I just did, the rename columns, the reorder columns. So everything just appears on this table view. And when it's blue color like this, it means the load is enabled. And if you want to disable the load, you can just click on this button over here and say uncheck this enable load option. So you can see all the steps here. It's currently expanded. You can collapse it as well. So this would just show you the icons of the transformations, and it will also show how many steps you have applied. So currently it's at 4 steps, and it would show also the 4 steps which is applied. It would show the same over here, but you can go over here and if you want to edit the name of this, you could actually give like a meaningful name clicking on the rename button over here. So this comes very useful, and if you want to apply another step over here, you can do so by clicking on this add button. So for example, if I want to change some columns to uppercase, I can do that. So these are like yes no columns, the quarantine center, private beach, private pool. These are like yes no columns, and they are in different cases. So I just wanted to change them all into uppercase. So all I have to do is just select the columns which I want to convert, and then go over here, click the add button, and then just say uppercase. And if I check on the data view, it would show that all those three columns have been converted into uppercase. So like that, you have a lot of functionality when it comes to the diagram view. And you can just click on the add button, and you have all the transformations over here which you want to apply to your data. And this all comes in handy. It's very useful depending on what you want to do. You have a lot of ETL-like features over here to clean and cleanse the data, which you can use. And another thing on this is that you get the data view and the schema view over here, as well as you get it on the side over here at the bottom. So it is actually easier to navigate between like what you want. So currently it's in the schema view. You can just click on the data view if you want to go to the data view. So I can collapse this, and let me show you the next functionality, which I thought was interesting. So the next one is called fuzzy group by. It's actually an enhancement which they have introduced for the fuzzy matching. Previously, they did have fuzzy matching in Power Query, but now what they have is like they want to extend it a little bit. Previously, they only had it for exact matches. So if a word matches exactly, only then you can do the group by on it. But now it could also do it for like similar matches. And also if you can, you have option where you can just ignore the case. So for example, if you have a word with a capital letter starting and another one with a simple letter, which is the first word, it would still do the match and it would group it by. So let me just show you that as well. So I'm just going to create a reference table over here. And I'm going to give this a name. So what I want to do here is I want to just count the number of hotels in each district. So if I just show you the data, you would see that the district columns, there are words which are the same, but their case is a bit different. So for example, if we take Gaul, let me show you that example. So if you take Gaul over here, here it starts with a capital G, and here it starts with a simple G, but these two are like the same word. So I just want to still go ahead and group them as the same district. So let's see how we can do that. So I've added this reference table, and I'm going to apply a step over here. So I'm going to click this add button, and I'm going to say group by. So I want to group by the district, and I want to count how many hotels there are in each district. And you have this use fuzzy grouping. So if I expand this, you have some more options over here. You have this similarity threshold, which you can, modify and play around with depending how your data looks like. And you have this checkbox to ignore the case. So that's what I want in this case. And also to group by combining text paths. So I'm going to go ahead and try this. So this should give me the list of districts and the number of hotels. So this would actually group those two similar words together, which I told you about, the Gaul starting with capital G and also Gaul starting with simple G. It would consider these two as the same word. So that's what would happen here. It's taking a bit of time. So while that's loading, I'll just go ahead to the next functionality which I want to talk about. It's again another fuzzy matching enhancement. It's called cluster grouping. So this is also something new which they have introduced, and I think this would also be really useful when creating data flows where there are similar kind of words in the data set. So what this does is it basically gets like a column of values, and it would see how those are similar to each other. If there are similar words, then it would create a similarity score, which would show us what kind of a match it is, if it's a good match or a bad match. So that's really useful, because then we can identify the words that are similar based on that similarity score which is generated. So let me show you how we can do this one as well. Yep, so this has run. It's showing me the district and the count, which is the number of hotels basically in each of the district. And this count actually has all the ones that are goal, regardless of the case. So let's go ahead and try the other functionality which I spoke about, the cluster grouping. So again, I'm going to just create a reference table, and I'm going to name this similar hotels. For example, I want to get all the hotels which have like similar names, or I just want to get like hotels that belong to like the same group. For example, Jetwing has Jetwing Blue, Jetwing Sea, Jetwing Lake. So all these are like basically come under one group. So if I want to get like that, I can use this cluster grouping. So I'll show you that. So first, I just want to get rid of the columns which I don't need. I'll just add another step over here, a choose column step, to just select only the columns which I want. That's the hotel ID and the hotel name. And then I'm just going to do the cluster grouping on hotel names. I can just select that. You can select it in the data view or even on the schema view. So I'll just select this, and I need to go to add column. So that cluster values or cluster grouping is found under the add column tab over here. And you have it over here, it's called cluster values. And when I select this, it would ask me to give the column, which I already selected. It's called hotel name. And I can give a new column. So what this new column will have is the matched value. So this new column should just go through the entire table on the hotel name column and find like the matched values which have similar words, and put which it thinks is a match, it would put it in this new column. So you can just name this anything. I'm just going to name this canonical names. I need to go to this fuzzy cluster options. Here again, we have the similarity threshold, which you can, depending on your data, you can just, play around with this. And here you have the same options which we had before in the group by. And here we have something called show similarity scores. So this is what I was talking about. It would actually generate a new column with the similarity scores depending on the matches. So I'm just going to reduce this threshold a bit, say 5.7. Sorry, 0.57, and click on OK. So this is going to add two new columns to the table, which is called the canonical names, the column which I just created, and another column for the similarity scores. So let's just wait for this to see how the data looks like. So again, these features are still in Power Query in Dataflows online. So it's not yet introduced in Power BI desktop, but in future what they have said is that they would also release these new features to the desktop version as well. So here it has loaded. It has a new column called canonical names, and it has this column which has all the similarity scores. So if I filter on the hotel name, and if I look for like Jetwing, then we can like take an example and see how those scores are getting calculated. So I think this diagram view and these additional features like the schema view and the fuzzy matching enhancements, I think together this November release has been very useful. So okay, the data is loaded. So I'm just going to select Jetwing, click on OK.
Sindhuja, while it loads, there's a question from Faumi.
Okay.
He asks if this feature is part of the Pro license. He means the cluster matching. And if he has a Pro license, will it still work for him?
Pro license, I think it would work because in the Pro license, you could use the Power BI server. So if you go to the Power BI server and under Dataflows, if you could check that, I think it should be available. Yes.
Yeah, I think so too, because it's still part of,
Yeah.
you need to have a workspace to create it, right? To create a
Yeah.
data flow. So
Yes.
yeah, I think for me it should work. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks, Sindhuja.
Thank you. So here it has loaded. So if you see Jetwing over here, it has matched to the canonical name Jetwing C with a similarity score of 0.8. So if it's like a perfect match, it says 1. But if it's not so good, it's a bit lower. So this is actually giving the similarity score as 0.8. Again, you can just play around with the similarity threshold depending on your data. So I just wanted to demo these features because I think it could be really useful, and it's really fast. And using this, I think you can achieve a lot. So that's all for me on this. If you have any questions, you can just ask me now, or if you have any later, you can just reach out to me on LinkedIn.
Gogula, you're on mute.
Sorry. If there are any questions for Sindhuja, you can also unmute and ask.
Yeah.
So
Hi,
Ajay has a question.
Ajay this side. I have just one
Hi.
question.
Yes, Ajay.
Thanks a lot, first of all, introducing these very nice features. So I just would like to ask, are these in preview or they are generally available?
The schema view and the fuzzy matching are just generally available in Dataflows only online in Power Query. And the diagram view is actually still in preview. They are also working on some other features that they want to introduce over there. So that's still in preview in online.
Okay, great. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hi, Sindhuja, this is Rasita. I have one
Hi.
question regarding the Power Query Online. When we create entities diagrams,
Yeah.
entities using same query, do we need the premium version to use it in our reports? Like, I mean, to get it refreshed every day at a particular scheduled time. Do we need premium version when we have kind of connected entities in the online data flows?
Yes, you have to go for the premium one, especially to schedule them. It does require a premium license. You can sometimes create it, but you can't schedule it. So for that, it actually requires the premium license.
Okay, yeah, thank you.
Okay, so I think if there are any more questions, I think we can move on.
Yeah.
Okay then, Sindhuja, thank you very much for spending your time here to share this wonderful presentation with the community. And good luck with your work in Power BI, and hope you will find new very exciting features more and more. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And we got a question whether this session is being recorded. Yes, we are recording it, and we will make it available after the session. Okay, so let me share my screen. So, and if you have any questions regarding the presentations, you can reach out to our speakers during the among like through their LinkedIn channels or YouTube channels, so whatever the mode that they have presented. And also you can use our community site to share your questions and get clarifications. So for that, go to powerbiusergroup.com and Colombo and join the group. So you can join the community there and share knowledge through that. Okay, and now let's move on to the next session of the last session of our meetup today. That we are going to discuss what's new in Power BI. So I'll hand over the session to Gogula.
Thanks, Shavani. You can keep the slide as it is right there. I will change over to mine in a little while. So usually on a monthly basis, Power BI updates come in. You get a whole lot of Power BI updates. You have updates on the Power BI desktop, which is usually a monthly release. And then there are other features that they add around for Power BI, especially on the service, on the gateway, and things like that. So I'm not going to talk about everything here. There's nothing about the Power BI desktop on this. But number one is the Power BI Dev Camp. So this Power BI Dev Camp runs on a monthly basis, where they try to focus on developers who are working with Power BI. So the first one is about that one. So, in December, they will talk about embedding Power BI reports using React.js. So what I'll do is I'll just copy down these links onto the chat. And if you're interested, you can join these. They are quite useful sessions done by Microsoft folk themselves. Okay, so this is for developers. And then there is something around information sensitivity. So if I were to share my screen on that aspect. Let's see my screen. Okay, so this is something new that they have announced yesterday. It is about putting up sensitivity labels in your Power BI desktop. So when you have various visuals and stuff like that, you can mark them or mark your report as confidential or highly confidential, and who can see them, who should not, so that the sensitivity of those data is maintained, and those who are viewing these reports don't share it with the wrong group of users. And also, these sensitivity labels will get applied or will flow through to Excel as well. So if you have created data sets and sensitivity labels have been applied, you will see them on Excel also if you are analyzing those Power BI data sets using Excel. Okay, so I will put down this link as well so you can take a look at it. This is quite interesting because there's not much around security and sensitivity, data privacy and things like that. And a lot of things that we see, but Power BI adding them is something quite exciting. And a lot of people are looking at security and privacy a lot these days. So I think this is something that will be quite useful. And then there was this very big announcement on December 3rd about Azure Synapse. Now, Azure Synapse is it's a new generation data warehousing technology on the cloud. So it comprises of several different technologies and functionality. So you can even call it a data lake house. That's a new term that they use to talk about cloud data warehouses, which are on top of data lakes. So what's important here is that they are making Power BI very, very tightly integrated with Azure Synapse. So you have one aspect, which is the analytics, and the other aspect, which is Power BI, coming together to give you enterprise business analytics and business intelligence. So they have Power BI from during this last 5 years, it has slowly become, or very quickly become, an enterprise BI solution, and this just establishes the fact that it's becoming more of a enterprise BI solution. So this is a very interesting read. Please take a look at this as well. I'll put that also in the chat window here. And then finally, on the data governance side, along with the general availability of Azure Synapse, Microsoft introduced Azure Purview, which is currently in a preview. So this is their next generation data cataloging system. Their first generation of data catalog on Azure wasn't that great. It was just very limited in functionality. So this one has a lot of functionality built in, plus it has governance also built into it. And one thing is, it's again, Power BI is tightly integrated with this. So what an example of what you can see on the screen is, and once I share the link, is that you can make Purview automatically scan your Power BI assets and make them visible to your end users, so that you can have a catalog of all the different data systems and data assets that you have, and users can choose what they want to use. Then you can have data labeling and things like that. Privacy can be applied and so forth. But Azure Purview is still in preview, so which means more and more functionality is going to be added in the future. So all of these three, Synapse, Purview, and Power BI brought together will make a really reliable, secure business intelligence and analytics platform. It's what Microsoft is trying to give to their customers. So these are quite interesting reads. Please take a look at these. Apart from these, there are a whole bunch of other functionality that Microsoft keeps pushing out each month. The sensitivity labels option is supposed to be there in Power BI Desktop. It is not there in the November edition, so I'm expecting it to appear in the December one, which should be out sooner or later, the next couple of days, I guess. So that's all I have on the announcements. Back to you, Shaman. Oh, one more thing. Sorry. About the Power BI user group slide, we can go back one slide, Shamani. This community site is not very active. We started a few months ago, and then we didn't have much meetups. But this site that you see on your screen, it would be great if you can join, sign up, and make it a more interactive and collaborative experience for us here. Because and I know there are a whole bunch of you who want questions answered, or those who would like to help out others. So we are hoping to make this site something where everyone here in Sri Lanka, plus even outside, to get their questions answered and help work with Power BI data. All right, so that's all I have as announcements for this month. Thanks.
Thank you, Gokula. So with that, we came to an end of today's meetup, and thank you again for our speakers, Ajay and SINDHUJA, for those wonderful presentations, and also for all the participants for being with us. And hope you got a chance to improve your knowledge through this session today. And yeah, with that, we came to an end, and also we are coming to an end of this challenging year 2020 as well. We are moving into a new year with lots of hopes and dreams. So I would like to wish every one of you a Merry Christmas and Happy New Year, and may all your dreams and hopes come true in 2021. So with that, we will wind up the session. Thank you very much, and see you next year with the next meetup of Sri Lanka Power BI community. Signing off, I'm Shavani.
Thank you so much, Shivani. Thank you so much, Gokula. And thanks, Sindhuja.
Thanks,
Thank
Ajay.
you all. Thanks.
Bye-bye. Happy New Year. Merry Christmas.
Wish you
Happy
the
New Year and
same.
Merry Christmas. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.